Hey, welcome back guys. Hope all is well. This is part 2 of the sample Airtime project. In the previous video, we talked about the whole process of getting the project installed on the server for production use. We looked at 2 different environments of setting this all up. Today, we will do a complete walkthrough on how to set things up after installation. We will also do a functionality walkthrough and see what exactly the system has in store for us. So let's jump right into it. So we are currently on the sign up page for the project. This is the first page that comes up after you've done the installation. If you have not watched the first video, do check that one out because this is the point where we left the first video off. I'm using the same test server that we created using the cPanel based environment. The first step after installation is to log in via the default admin credentials and change them. So let's log in as admin. We can find the default credentials for the admin on the GitHub repository. Here's the system admin user. So let's just copy that and the password as well. Now let's head to the profile and change all details here. So by default, only one user is created on the system, which is the super admin. So we should change all these details based on our super admin details. So I'm just going to change these to something different. So now that the admin details have been changed, let's head to the settings page. So the settings page comes packed with a bunch of things. First of all, we have the toggle to allow customers registration. By default, this is false, which means that if I try to go to the login page and click on register, the system will say that the registration is not allowed, which is the default case. However, if we turn this on, a user will be able to publicly register on this system as a customer. This is a good option if you're planning to use this system internally. You should just turn this off and you can just create internal users, which are customers or resellers. But if you're planning to use this publicly, you should turn this on so that public can access your system and register on it. The next thing we have is the reseller discount and the customer rate. So how this actually works is Reloadly gives you a certain percentage of commission in return for every top up that you've done. You can opt to share a percentage of that commission with your resellers. So if you say that I want to share 50% of my commission with the reseller, every top up that a reseller does, they get 50% of the commission that you make on that transaction. So you get to keep the rest of the 50%. The customer rate works a bit different. This is how much extra money you want to make on top of the commission that you're already making. So this is all handled via the FX rate conversions. So if I set it to 0%, which means that I don't want to make anything extra off the customer, I'm quite happy with the commission that the Reloadly has in store for us. The next thing we have is the company details and the billing details. So these are basically your company details that you will enter here. So the system will basically use this information for invoices and anything where it's displaying the company information, it will use this. So if you can go ahead and toggle the same billing details on and off. So if your company details and your billing center is the same thing, you can just click yes and it will use the same information everywhere. By default, the system comes packed with 3 integrations. We obviously have the Reloadly for top-ups. We have PayPal and Stripe for handling our invoices. So if you're not familiar with these platforms, Stripe is basically used for credit card or debit card payments. PayPal is an external entity that handles payment as well. All 3 of these integrations are required, otherwise the system will perform limited functionality. So you should definitely sign up for Stripe and PayPal and Reloadly and add all your keys here. We also have the test modes in front of PayPal and Reloadly. So if you're testing the system, you can turn the test mode on, which is currently the default setting, and add the test keys here. But if you're adding for production use and you're going live, you should definitely turn the live mode on each of these API and add the live API keys here. Another thing that we have within the settings panel is the customization tab. So if we click on customization, we get a complete customization view. This allows you to change the theme of your system based on your company profile or just based on your liking. So you can change your logo here that appears here, as well as on the sign up and register page. We have basically a mini logo that's toggled when the sidebar is minimized. So this mini logo. We also have the favicon icon, which is shown on the browsers tab. You can also customize the UI icon color, top bar color, and various other aspects. You can play with these settings. You should turn the custom theme on if you're planning to use custom theme, and basically play with these settings until you get the desired result. So I'll pause the video here and add all the custom theme items as well as my keys for Stripe, PayPal, and Reloadly, so we can move further and test the system. So I've gone ahead and customized the layout a bit. I've also added my keys and company details in the settings. I've kept it to the live mode for Reloadly, while the Stripe and PayPal I've set it to test mode. One thing you should definitely note is that once you set a key type for Reloadly, the system will take about 24 hours to sync all the details for that account on that production mode with Reloadly. So it's a one-time thing only. So if you set your Reloadly test key in your settings and then you let the system sync everything, if you wanted to shift to a production mode, you will have to do a complete reinstall of the system, because it syncs all the test data with the server, and you basically play with the system. You figure out how everything goes, and once you're ready to move to the production environment, you do a complete clean reinstall and you add the production keys in the setting for Reloadly, and then you again let the system sit for about 24 hours so that it could sync everything with the servers. So for now, the settings are safe. The credentials for admin have been updated. All we have to do now is wait for the system to sync everything, and I'll just resume the video from that point once everything has been synced. Now that everything has been synced with the Reloadly server, the dashboard shows us the balance that we have in the Reloadly's account, all the countries that are supported, operators, all users, and all top-ups being done. The first thing we're going to look at is the top-ups menu. So the first thing within top-ups is the history. This is the place where you will see all the top-ups transactions happening. If any top-up failed, you will see the reason of its failure and also be able to tell the system to retry that failed top-up. We will come back to this page once we have gone through all other functionality and we actually have the top-ups to see here. So the next thing is the countries. Here we have all of these details are synced with Reloadly server on a regular basis, so you can be sure that everything you see here is up to date. So these are all the countries that are supported by Reloadly. We can also click the sync now button to sync these details right now, or we can go ahead and click on any country and see all the operators that are supported within that country. You can also go to the operators page and see all the operators that are supported. Operators are only fetched when you have successfully added the Reloadly keys in the settings. So if you don't see anything here, just go to settings and add your Reloadly key and then wait at least 24 hours for system to sync everything. Or you can click the sync now button to sync everything right now. The next thing we have is the discounts. So these are the international and local percentages for each operator that are offered to you by Reloadly. These are based on your accounts. The discount is the same thing as the commission that is refunded to you once you made a top up. So let's say if you create an international top up for Afghan wireless operator, you're gonna get 10% of it back as commission. So the next thing we have is the promotions. Again, these are all synced automatically in the back with Reloadlies using the API key credential that you've added in the settings. These promotions are the ones that are actually active currently for each operator. You can click on the view button to actually view the complete details of the promotion. These are also shown to your customers because they're the ones that are actually gonna avail these promotions. So the system is creating promotions that are supported automatically and broadcasting that to all your customers. So the next thing that we have is the users tab. So the first thing within users is the resellers. This is where all your resellers will show up. You can also add new resellers. Once added, you'll have full functionality to edit any details of that reseller or delete them from the system as well. The next thing is the customers. There are two ways a customer can register on your system. The one is that you can add it from the admin view. The other thing is if you have set registration enabled on the settings, then anyone can basically go to the registration page and sign up as a customer. After users, we have invoices. On the admin side, you'll see all the invoices that are generated within the system. You'll also have the functionality to manually pay or cancel the invoice. Once an invoice is marked paid, the system will automatically send the top up for that invoice. So the system works in a way that if a customer or a reseller tries to buy something, an invoice is created and they have to pay for that invoice via card, which is supported via Stripe or PayPal. And once the payment is confirmed by the system in the back, the purchase is automatically cleared. After invoices, on the admin side, we have wallet, which is an internal wallet created by the system. This is all backed up by Stripe. So all transactions within the wallet are completely saved on Stripe by user IDs, and the system automatically makes sure that all transactions are being synced by Stripe server as well. The transaction basically show all the transactions that your resellers are doing for within the internal account. Now that we have covered the basics of the admin side, let's create a customer account and check their dashboard as well. So we'll just log out from the admin side and use the registration wizard, create a new customer. Once a customer is registered, they are directed back to the dashboard page, which is the customer view of the dashboard. They can use the same login page that the admin uses to log in as customer. The system automatically detects that this user is not an admin and a customer and shows only the things that are related to the customer. The customer has its own dashboard where they'll able to see all the top-ups that they've done, all their invoices, any cards that they have on file. They also have this neat widget to send top-up right from the dashboard. They can also view a small graph history once they have sent some top-ups. Within the top-ups menu, they also have this send top-up, which is exactly the same wizard on a separate page. They can also use this to send a top-up. Apart from send top-up, the customer also has access to the history where they'll be able to see their previous top-ups that they've done, countries to see all the countries that are supported, operators, and promotions as well. They also have access to invoices to view all their invoices and pay them if any of these are pending. The only different thing here is the billing, where they're able to add credit or debit cards completely supported by Stripe. So if I click on add new within the billing center, I'm greeted by a new model, and as the model says, all these details that I enter here are sent directly from the user browser to Stripe. The system does not store any credit card information. As the Stripe is currently on test mode, I can add a test card here. And the card is added to the system. We can delete this card or use this to pay for invoices much quickly. Let's go back to top-ups and actually send a top-up using this account so we can see complete walkthrough of the top-up process from the customer side. So we'll just select a country where we're planning to send the top-up. We'll add a test number. And once we click on the arrow, the system automatically tries to find the operator for this number, and if successful, that operator is automatically selected here. Otherwise, the user can basically select one of the operators that are supported within that country. Some operators support both international and local transfer, which means you can send the amount within the currency of your locally account. We have the minimum and maximum value supported for this operator. We can also send local transfer. So this is the value within the local currency of that operator. So let's try sending a local top-up on this number using the system. So once we've added all the detail, we simply click on send. As we're doing a top-up from customer side, the system automatically creates an invoice for the customer to pay. As we've attached both Stripe and PayPal keys on the admin side, the customer has the option to pay by card via Stripe or pay by PayPal. All these payments will be sent using your keys that you've added into the settings, so you're the one receiving the actual payments. We can also go in the top-ups and history and see that we've created this top-up, but it is pending payment. So we can also go in invoices and see that the new invoice is created and it's currently pending. So let's go in and pay this invoice via a test card. So if we have existing cards, this tab will show up showing all our existing cards on file. We also have the ability to click add new card and add new card here. Any card that's being used to pay the invoice is also added to the system automatically. The customer can, however, go into the billing section and remove cards if they don't want these to be added to the system. So let's use the existing card and pay the invoice. So now that the invoice has been paid, we can go back to the top-up history. Remember, we're on the customer side, right? So on the top-up history, it currently says that this is pending because the system has to do some verification in the back to make sure all the payments have successfully been cleared and confirm it using the payment gateway that was used. And this can take 1 to 5 minutes. So the system will automatically after that send this top-up. So we'll either see a success or a failure status here. So it basically took about 2 minutes for the system to send this top-up, and we can see that the status is now success. And we can also confirm from actually checking this number that the top-up has been received. If the customer adds a new card on the invoice to pay for it, they can also go to the billings to see this new card added to the system. They can click on delete to basically delete this from the system as well as from the Stripe. So that's pretty much the whole customer side of the system. Now let's log out of the customer side and check the reseller side of the system. The reseller can only be created by admin. So let's log in as admin of the system. Go in users resellers and create a new reseller account. While we are at the admin side, let's look at the top-ups history, because now a customer has created a top-up. That top-up also shows up here. If the transaction had failed, the admin will be able to click on the failed status and see complete details of why this transaction actually failed, and we'll also have a retry button here to retry that top-up. The admin can also go in the invoices and view all invoices, print. They might even want to edit an invoice and manually change status of it. They can also delete the invoice. Now that we have created a reseller account, the reseller automatically gets a wallet created for it. So we can go from admin to wallet accounts and see that this test reseller has got a an account created for it within the wallets of the system, the admin can opt to add balance to this account without having to pay for anything because they're admin of the system. The currency for the wallet depends upon the currency that you have in the Reloadly account. So let's log out of the admin account and log back into the reseller account to view the reseller dashboard. The reseller works just like a customer. The only key difference in reseller account and the customer account is that admin can set a different rate for reseller to get a cashback on their transaction, while the rate for customer changes the FX rate conversion on their account. Another difference is that the reseller has a wallet, so they can basically do quick transactions. All quick top-ups like the send top-up wizard in the dashboard and the send top-up in the top-ups menu, they both work via wallet. So the reseller is required to first go into the wallet and add funds to it, and then use the quick send wizards to send top-ups. So let's go to the wallet and add funds to the reseller account. So this is the reseller view. Let's add 5 CAD to this reseller account. So when a reseller creates a request to add funds, they are automatically greeted with an invoice that they need to pay. We'll use the pay now button to pay for this invoice. Now, because this is a brand new user and no card has been added, we don't have the existing card fields here. So we only have the add new card. They can, however, go into the billings and add cards. We'll just add card on the invoice and click pay. Once the invoice is paid, the system will also save this card just like the customers on this reseller account. So now that the invoice is paid, we can go in the invoices to confirm that the invoice is actually paid. We can also go in the billings and see that the card that was used for the payment of this invoice has also been saved for future use. The reseller can, however, delete this card just like the customer, and that will remove it from everywhere. Now let's go to the wallet account. As the invoice was paid, it can take 1 to 3 minutes for the system to again confirm that the invoice was actually paid and then process the add funds transaction. But this is all done, and we can see that the reseller now has a credit transaction for 5 CAD and the ending balance is also 5. We can confirm the balance by going into the dashboard of the reseller, and we have the balance 5 CAD. Let's use the dashboard widget to send the top up. The process is completely the same. We're greeted with different types of transactions that are supported by this operator. The operator is automatically selected, and let's this time do a transaction in international transfer. We'll click on send. Now for resellers, the sending works a bit differently. When they use a quick widget, the top-up is automatically sent by using the balance that they have in the wallet. So if we go back to wallet, we can see that the debit transaction was done and their balance has now changed. And even if we go in invoices, a new invoice was created and was automatically paid by the wallet. They can confirm the top-up transaction by going in top-up and history. This is pending at the moment, which means that the system is checking everything is fine or not, and within 1 to 3 minutes the system will automatically process this top-up. So we will have either a success or a failure case here. As we can see that the top-up was successful. So now that the transaction is successful, if we go in the wallet and account for this reseller, we can see that there was a credit commission paid for this reseller based on the share amount that we shared from the admin side. The total commission was 7% for this operator on the admin side, and we opted to share 50% of our commission with resellers. So this reseller got a 3.5 commission on this top up, which was credited back to their wallet. We can also confirm the new balance on the reseller dashboard. The reseller also has the ability to send bulk top up, which the customer does not. So if we go in top ups, we can see the bulk top up here. This works by uploading a template CSV file back into the system. To get the template file, we click on download, and we have the full process here. We download the template file by clicking here, and then we add the numbers and all the details within that CSV template file. We then upload the file back to the system, and the system basically reads the file and does all the calculations in the back. We then confirm all top-ups and they're automatically sent. So let's download the file. If we open the downloaded template CSV file in any text editor, or you can use Excel, we can see that the structure goes like this. We have country code in the first column, and then we have the phone number. We have 1 or 0 for is local. 1 means that this is a local top up, and 0 is that this is an international one. And then we have the amount. The amount, if this is a local top up, will be in the local currency. Otherwise, it will be in the currency of your Reloadly account. So let's add some test values here to send some bulk top up. Now that we have saved the template file with our test values, let's upload it back to the system. Now it's going to take some time for the system to process the file, so we can refresh the page after about 2 minutes. Now that the system has processed the file, we can see that it has found 2 transactions for us. We can click on start to start sending the bulk top-ups. The system tries to automatically find all these details from your file. So if there are any values that you don't think are correct, we can automatically edit these as well. So now that we have edited all the values to the correct form, let's click next. The bulk top-up can be scheduled, so we can select a time zone and a date and a time if we want to schedule it for a later time, or we can select schedule now to send all the top-ups right now. We also see a complete sum of the bill that will be charged to this reseller. So let's click submit, and that bulk top-up invoice is again automatically processed by the wallet. So we can go in the wallet account and see that the invoice was automatically debited. So for bulk, every number gets a different invoice. That's why we see different debit values here. So we've had 2 transactions, and they were both individually processed because they will be both individually shown in the top-ups as well. So we go in top-up history. We can see that all these transactions were successfully done. Another thing different from the reseller dashboard is that the reseller also has discounts. So here they can check the discounts that are shared by the admin. Obviously they don't see that these are shared, they just see that these are the discounts on their account. The discounts are on an operator basis. So for each individual operator, they see what the international percentage that they're gonna get back, what the local percentage is. All these are automatically calculated based on the percentage set by the admin, so you don't have to worry about any of these calculations as well. Now that we have looked at both the reseller and customer side, let's quickly recheck the admin side to see what new data that we have now. So let's log out from the reseller and log back into the admin side. If we go in top-ups history, we can see all the history of all users here. And if any of these failed, we would be able to see a failure here and retry the transaction. We can also go in the invoices now and see all the invoices that are pending or paid. If the admin wanted to change something or print an invoice, they could obviously do that here as well. We can also go in the wallets and accounts and see the reseller wallet accounts, because only the reseller has access to wallets. We can add funds here. So if we just add $5 $5 to this reseller and click add, the balance on the reseller wallet changes from $3 to $8. The admin can also go in the transactions and see all the wallet transactions here. So if there were multiple resellers, all resellers will show up here, all transaction will show up here. So we can also see that the commission was paid here and the commission was paid here to this reseller, and $5 were deposited by the admin to their account. So this concludes the second video of the series. Hope you guys had an interesting session here and hope we answered majority of your questions on how to use this system and what functionality it comes with. Feel free to contact Reloadly support if you have any questions on this project. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video. We will continue to post some interesting open source repositories to help the community grow. I will definitely see you in the next one.